I had a comment on a video recently asking when am I going to do a video mocking the far right, because I spend an extraordinary amount of time mocking the far left because it's fucking easy. Also, an American friend of mine who's extremely woke has said to me in the past that I should be using my platform to fight white supremacy. But talking about the far right, how much mileage really is there in that? White supremacists, they're dickheads, aren't they? There you go, job done. So now back to business as usual, mocking lunatics I've found on the internet. So today we'll meet a number of people who, in my opinion, come across as somewhat unhinged. Full on, bark at the moon, crazy ape bonkers, although I'm sure in their own minds they think their thoughts and behaviours are absolutely normal. They are not. And it's mere coincidence that most of the people we'll see today are from the New World, and as a Brit I find this worrying because whatever weird shit goes on stateside, you can guarantee will be here within 6 months. So we'll kick off with a topic that continues to anger the progressive woke left over in the USA.
So I work at a Mexican restaurant, and last night I had a MAGA table come in, wearing the hat and everything. And I just thought, why are you here? This is not for you. You don't get to enjoy these flavors in this cuisine that comes from a country whose people you're trying to kick out. This is not for you. Go home and eat some unseasoned chicken and green bean casserole like God intended. The fuck? Oh, and they tipped $2 on $70. Yeah.
Right, so some people wore hats in a restaurant. Shocking behaviour. But even if they are full-on MAGA, does she not realise they are her fucking customers? They're the people paying her wages. And that these people have gone to a Mexican restaurant makes me think they probably aren't mad racist types, objecting to any Mexicans being in the USA. I'm guessing they just have a problem with the illegal immigrants. And I sort of get that because we have the same problem here in the UK. Not with Mexicans, that would be a hell of a trip for them. But illegal immigrants, they don't pay taxes, ergo they give nothing to the economy, and the only thing they bring with them is fucking crime. And as for the MAGA lot not being able to enjoy Mexican food, does she not realise that if everyone who voted Republican boycotted Mexican restaurants, she'd be out of a job by the end of the sodding week? And this lazy stereotype of white people only ever eating bland food. I live in Staffordshire, but originally I'm from Norwich in the east of England, where they make Coleman's mustard. If you've never tried this little yellow bastard, it's like eating volcanic lava. Because people go on about herbs and spices and such like. It's mustard. It's the stuff they used to gas soldiers during the First World War. And as for the customers not leaving her a very big tip, it's almost as if the waitress was a right miserable bitch who was rude to them. Staying on the theme of foreigners, in his book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I thought that Roald Dahl had invented the country Lumperland. But as we will now see, here is a real-life Oompa Loompa. What was that? I think she's slightly overdone it with the fake tan, because that's a colour not found in nature. And I had to mute that clip to get around copyright, but the music playing over it was Beautiful by James Blunt. And I know beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but no, sod it, I can't think of anything positive to say.
I just realized something. I'm officially the blue-haired bisexual one in the friend group who lives off of coffee and black clothing. The prophecy has been completed.
That's also definitely a look. So we've seen something from Roald Dahl. That individual looks like an illustration from a Dr. Seuss book that's become sentient. Although I'm sure if I said that to her, she'd lose her shit and start screaming because, oh, Dr. Seuss had harmful, outdated stereotypes. Who would have guessed that a book written 70 years ago wasn't in keeping with modern values and standards? As for being bisexual, I don't want to be cruel here, but is it that she's genuinely attracted to both men and women? Or is she just desperate to take anything she can get? Some fumble and a fuck from anything vaguely humanoid. Speaking of which, When I first saw that clip, I thought it's been a long time since I've seen any American wrestling, and it never ceases to amaze me that there are people who insist that the moon landings were fake, but that wrestling is real. If someone gets hit in the head repeatedly 50 times, they will at least have a bruise. But was that someone trying to be an American wrestler, or have we finally got the candidate for least convincing transvestite on the face of the earth? Sir, you appear to have overdone it with your mascara. So let's see another female impersonator who's much more convincing.
Being a trans lesbian is so annoying sometimes because I have no interest in men at all, but men will constantly tell me that I'm tricking them by not outing myself as trans to every single guy I meet. That sounds like more of a you problem.
To me, the term trans lesbian doesn't make any sense. And I say that with authority because I've seen loads of lesbian films. But to be a lesbian, one has to be female. And he isn't female. He's male. Human beings cannot change sex. Sir, you are not a lesbian. You are a straight man with a cross-dressing fetish. And who are the men that he's apparently tricking? Because no matter how much makeup he puts on, the second he opens his mouth, we can all hear it. Unless he exclusively gets hit on by deaf men with partial sight loss. So there's one clip left, and this one is really confusing.
This two-gender thing is just, it's getting totally out of control. This weekend I was getting shoes. I was at the mall getting shoes, and I got these shoes, okay? I bring them up to the worker. I was like, hey, could I get an 8.5 in this? And they were like, sorry, do you mean 8.5 in men's or women's? Men's or women's? Really? Like, my feet, my freaking feet can't even be non-binary. My feet don't even have genitals, okay? So, it's just crazy. This is what you all voted for, so I hope you're happy.
Honestly, I'm not too sure what that is. Whether it's male or female. But isn't that the idea of being non-binary? To be a sexless, androgynous mess that no one finds even remotely attractive. And they have achieved that. But why get upset? Because asking if it's men's or women's shoes, that isn't someone attacking you for your ridiculous made-up gender, whatever pronouns you're using this minute. It's because men's and women's shoes are different sizes. Stop finding ways to play the fucking victim. Weren't they a strange bunch of people? Anyway, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you can leave a like or a comment, that really helps the algorithm. If you'd like to support me making these videos, there's a link in the description to buy me a coffee. And as ever, thanks for watching. Recently, I had a comment on one of my videos asking when am I going to mock the far right, because I spend a lot of time mocking the far left because it's just very, very easy. And a friend of mine from America, what the fuck was that? And my bullseye. So let's get this straight. Some people wore hats to a restaurant. Absolutely shocking behaviour, and here comes a dog walker. The woman walking the dog, her husband came up with the name Disgruntled Danny. So there's a bit of trivia. I've never really understood the term trans lesbian. Sir, if you have a penis, you're not a lesbian. Even if you've had it cut off. Nah. Don't worry, this will be black by the weekend. When I first saw that clip, I thought, it's a long time since It's not a long time since I fucking did that. I honestly don't know what that thing is. But isn't that the point of being non-binary? Isn't it to be a hideous androgynous mess that no one wants to fuck? So you can walk around bullying people for not using the fuck it pronouns you made up 5 minutes ago.